Hi guys, and welcome to the State of Crypto, your one-stop source for all crypto-related news. I'm your host Martin, and this is episode 48. Ripple, Coinbase Linkup, Bitpay to support Ethereum, and Binance US launched today, right? Good news happening. I had the stream ended banner. Oh yeah, sorry about that, man. Well, that's a bit of a mistake, yeah? I'll edit the post stream and then you'll be fine. Yeah, did I put the chat? Yeah, I think the chat is up and fine. I was worried that I had not pasted the chat code. Anyways, guys, happy Wednesday, middle of the week. If you're having a bad week, think about it. Half of the week is gone. If you're having a great week, then maybe the weekend's coming, right? And it's even gonna get better anyways. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you're catching this stream live, welcome. And if you are catching the replay and have any suggestions, leave us a comment below. We really want to know what you are thinking, right? Now, if you want to keep up to date with the latest crypto-related news, make sure you subscribe. You hit that like button and that bell. That way you will be notified when we go live. We are live every night at 9 p.m. And if you haven't done it yet, you should definitely consider hitting that subscribe. Now, if you want to keep on chatting with us once the stream is done, you can join us on the Discord. The link is in the description as well. Now, let's get into the news. Wells Fargo said on Tuesday it will pilot its own digital currency powered by blockchain to help move cash across borders and between branches in real time. I think that's pretty cool, you know. They could have just used Ripple solution, but if they want to use their own, that's fine. The currency is going to be called Wells Fargo Digital Cash. It will be linked to the US dollar and transferred using the bank's distributed ledger technology to keep track of the payments within its internal network. Now, the system will allow the banks to bypass third parties in the asset transfer process, and then they will be saving costs and time, right? Now, the pilot is set to begin next year, but the bank has already tested the technology by moving currency between Canada and the US. Following the broader rollout of the company, they basically hope to expand into multi-currency transfers, right? Again, a little bit like what Bitcoin is doing, right? And we have actually some interesting stuff for Bitcoin, so stay tuned. Now, what else is going on, right? Another security threat has emerged for computers, but this time for Mac and crypto. Now, researchers have discovered a new malware threat that targets Macs. Basically, the article is very short, so it's just like reading it, right? It says, what appears to be a sophisticated attempt to raid cryptocurrency wallets, and the malware called Cookie Miner has a variety of weapons in its armory that could make it particularly worrisome for cryptocurrency investors. Now, the Mac OS malware can steal browser cookies from users' Google Chrome and Apple Safari browsers. Specifically, the cookies associated with the following cryptocurrency exchanges are targeted, right? Binance, Bitstamp, Bittrex, Coinbase, MyEtherWallet, Poloniex, and any website with blockchain in its domain name, for instance, blockchain.com. Now, the cookies are grabbed from the infected users' browsers, zipped up, and uploaded to a remote server where basically they go under the control of the hacker. Now, in addition to stealing the cookies, Cookie Miner had also basically is able to raid the Chrome browser and extract saved passwords and credit card details, right? So be careful about this malware that has been detected that also targets crypto, right? It's the second time we reported on something like this, so might be something coming up with that, right? Anyways, let's keep on moving on. What is going on with the market, right? So on the daily, yesterday we had a nice green day. We had made a longer wick, apparently touched that upper part of the Bollinger Band, then bounced down. From an opening of 259.8 billion to closing at 262.4 billion, basically 0.91% up. Right now, going down 0.96%. Guys, it is thundering outside, so if it gets really bad, sometimes my light, the electricity goes out. So if the stream drops, we will be back. Just keep that in mind. Anyways, what is happening with Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin yesterday lost dominance. Right now gaining some dominance. That's pretty good. Yesterday losing around 1.32%. Right now gaining 0.67%. From an opening yesterday of 70.32, closing at 69.42. And basically right now is sitting at 69.88. let's go on to Bitcoin news. On September 17th, right, the rights attorney filed a new 30-day extension for all discovery and case deadlines, citing the need to facilitate the ongoing discussions with Dave Claimant's estate, as the parties have entered an extensive settlement negotiation. Now, according to the document, Wright's lawyer and Claimant's estate have reached a non-binding agreement to settle the matter and continue to negotiate and finalize the relevant terms, right? So, following that's about it, right? So, I think that's the second extension they get. The first one was on August the 30th, and they requested a 14-day extension. And that was just after the court order Wright to hand over 50% of the 1 million Bitcoin that Wright and Claimant had allegedly mined together, right? Let's go on to the Bitcoin chart and see what is happening. Bitcoin, even though we're making dominance, we are losing price, and that is probably because the alts are also losing dominance, meaning money is flowing out of the alts. You know, we had nice bumps to the upside. Some of them were developing bearish divergence on the daily, are seeing price action to the downside right now. Anyways, we broke out of this down. We are still within this major downsloping channel, right? The larger trend, right? We were above the 10,234. We broke down below it from it yesterday. Right now, we are still below it. We broke out of this downsloping channel, sorry. And now we're basically using it as support, bouncing off it, and just basically riding it again as a side channel, basically. What is going on with this, right? So more contraction is starting to happen on the Bollinger Bands, right? Starting to curve in a little bit more. Starting to make negative momentum. And sitting low on the RSI at, I can't see them. There we go. Sitting around 45.83, right? Bitcoin didn't do much today, even though the Fed came out and said that they were decreasing the rates. And the New York Fed also came out to do another bailout tonight, last night, of the overnight lending market or something like that. So it's the second time they had to do it in a row, 2 days in a row, putting around $130 billion to basically get that market afloat. You know, if you haven't done it, we talked about it yesterday, right? And I put the news article on the Discord today. So if you're not on the Discord, you should definitely consider joining the Discord, because we do post stuff there often, right? Actually, the articles might be here still. So it's this one's. Second day in a row, New York Fed injected billions, right, to the overnight lending market. And Fed cuts rates for the second time this year, right? But even though there was expectation that prices might go up because the Fed was cutting rates, and everyone was being bullish about it, Pompliano, Kaiser, I can't remember who else, we talked about it yesterday, Bitcoin just did nothing. It's actually losing value still. So the Fed cutting rates, nothing for Bitcoin right now. And we said it could maybe not play out, because when the Fed had, sorry, my cursor was doing something weird. When the Fed came out and raised rates in 2015 and 2017, the price of Bitcoin went up. So, I mean, right now they're reducing them. There was no correlation that said you had to have price action to the upside. We talked about it yesterday. We did say there could be a lot of speculation going on. We did see a lot of indecision. You know, the day, look at it. Yesterday, right, 2 hours ago, closed. Look at this. This is like a spinning top, right? It's not so long on the wicks, but it's almost the same length to the downside to the upside, and just smaller body, right? And in these 2 hours, we are seeing the same thing. Anyways, let's go into a much smaller scale. 4 hours, using that channel as support again. Kind of broke into it, broke out of it again, making less negative momentum, stuff that we can see maybe. Maybe not, because it's actually higher, right? We're making less negative momentum. I thought we were making a lower low than this low, but no, the wicks are different, bodies are different. And on the Mac, I think on the RSI, I'm just gonna try this out real quick. No, I was mistaken. I was saying this other part as so nope. No hidden bearish divergence, no bearish divergence right now. Sitting low on the RSI at 41, still making negative momentum. Lines more or less stable from each other, parallel. Hoping that we might negate this in the next couple 4-hour candles. We might get a crossover and then see price action to the upside. Sitting below at 20 MA. So on the 1 hour. Contraction on the Bollinger Bands, even though we're pulling down. Right now we're basically bouncing back up. Still making negative momentum, sitting low on the RSI at 41. And right now, lines still diverging, so no signs of them crossing each other. At least not in the next like hour or two. Depends on how much we pump right now. We might get a sharp turn, right? Anyways, what is going on here? I mean, right now it has not finished developing, right? I mean, we have not made another island. I'm just gonna point it out just so you know it could play out potentially, and it's gonna depend on where you pin this, right? If you pin it on the wick, from wick to wick, you will be more or less congruent with the market. If you put it on the body, right, you will be making a sort of bullish divergence, right? So watch out for that. It could definitely play out if you use the bodies. If you use the wicks, not so much. But again, these long wicks could be FOMO. So sometimes it's better. It's just up to your criteria, right? Whether or not you want to use the wicks. Sometimes you use them, sometimes you don't. It just depends on how you're feeling with the market, right? And what you believe could happen. Anyways, I do believe we might see price action to the upside. So I much rather leave them on the bodies right now. And like I said, it's still developing, not finished developing, but potentially making some bullish divergence, right? I'm going to get rid of this. Just remember we called it out. Actually, I'm going to leave them on the 1 hour. Just remember we called them out today, right? Like I said, some contraction of the Bollinger Bands, a little bit of expansion to the downside, that's fine. Sitting low on the RSI. That's it for Bitcoin. It's not doing anything. Like I said, there was a lot of people talking about it might do something with the Fed announcement. It might do something, speculation going on. We also believe that there was going to be some sort of movement happening, but we can see that it's very flat. Maybe the weight of backed launching is putting a lot more weight on Bitcoin than interest rates. Not interest rates being decreased, right? So it could certainly be that there's more speculation going on for backed launching, and thus we're not seeing that much price action happening right now. Anyway, 7 people tuned in. Thank you for watching, guys. Let's move on to Ethereum news, right? What is going on with Ethereum news? Well, this is pretty sweet because Bitpay will be supporting Ethereum payments, right? Bitcoin confirmed that it will be adding support for the Ethereum payments soon. No date released yet. Benny Martinez, you're glad to find my channel? Yeah, I have low views, man. I hope it will moon soon, man. I mean, usually it's our 48th episode, so we have not been live that long, less than 2 months. We're sitting at 87 subscribers, so I'm pretty happy. I'm not sure if you're subscribed or not, but if you're not subscribed, you should subscribe, man. We're here daily, every night at 9 p.m. Central. So, anyways, thank you for tuning in, man. Like I was saying, Bitpay enables crypto currency acceptance by monitoring, validating, and confirming the client transactions of each blockchain. Now, this latest move will allow Bitpay clients to transact using Ethereum. Bitpay's wallet users will be enabled to store and use Ethereum in their wallets, while the Bitpay prepaid Visa card holders can top up debit cards, right? You subscribe. Thank you, man. Maybe we're sitting at 888 right now. I'll look in a second. By supporting the payments on Ethereum network, basically Bitpay will soon be able to support ERC20 tokens as well. But I think they're basically going to target stable coins, right? And that's pretty cool. That means that you're going to be able to pay with a lot more coins on Bitpay, not just Bitcoin like you can do right now. So it's pretty nice, right? Stephen Perry, the CEO of Bitpay, stated that Bitpay is consistently at the forefront of using cryptocurrency to solve real-world problems and offer their global customers the best options to accept and pay with multiple blockchain assets. Now, as one of the largest cryptocurrencies by market cap and one used by thousands of companies, Ethereum is the next big logical choice, right? Then also Vitalik Buterin came out and said it is exciting to see Bitpay leading the way in integrating Ethereum into global payment systems. This truly opens up a new world of possibilities for Ethereum and together we can continue to be leading innovators for real world use and case for cryptocurrencies, right? Now, I do like this because if you remember, I can't remember who it was. I think the Dallas Mavericks were going to be able to take payments with Bitcoin, but they were going to use Bitpay to process the payments, right? So this might actually open the door. If you're a Mavericks fan, I don't follow them, but if you do follow them and you're a fan and you want to buy merchandise and you want to buy tickets and stuff like that, you might be able to do it with Ethereum as well, because BitPay is going to be the one that's processing the payment. So it might not really matter what crypto you use, right? So just keep that in mind. Anyways, let's go look real quick at Ethereum chart. Then we'll move on to Ripple news, right? Ethereum, what is happening, man? We had such a nice day yesterday, right? Well, not so much for Ethereum. Look at this. It was kind of like a gravestone doji. And then right now we're making negative price action, right? Yes, Mark Cuban. However, he was advised to wait because Bitcoin was diving. Yeah, but he was not going to take the payment as Bitcoin, right? He doesn't like Bitcoin. He actually came out saying that he didn't like gold and he didn't like Bitcoin. And he basically called Bitcoin gold. But, yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to wait on taking the payment with BitPay, because in the end, it's just transparent, right? You buy right now, BitPay keeps the Bitcoin, and BitPay just basically gives them the cash. So the Mavericks will not be holding Bitcoin, right? They just wouldn't be taking that asset. Anyways, what is happening with this, right? Like a gravestone doji, it's usually bearish pattern. So we are seeing price action to a downside. Not quite a gravestone, right? We have a little bit of a body. Maybe it's like a shooting star. We are seeing price action to a downside. That's fine. We had developed some sort of bearish divergence on the hour, I think, and I think we posted it on the Discord, right? Anyways, we're starting to make negative momentum, still diverging from the MACD to the signal line, sitting high on the RSI at 71, still on the overbought side, so we have to come in, cool off a little bit before we actually run back up again, right? That would be what would be expected. So, I mean, if we want to take this high to low, we could do it, right? This is not a confirmed high yet. We would need to come and touch the 236 for it to be a valid retrace, and then you could call it basically a valid high. But right now we're retracing, so keep in mind that you could go and hit this 236. Oh, sorry, I'm talking about the. We don't analyze dominance. I thought we were looking at the chart, right? Anyways, Ethereum sitting at $207.60. We have traced yesterday after the stream. We posted the retraces from high to low. We did hit that 236 at 210.23. We are going down again, and that is fine. I mean, we had to retrace, right? We developed some bearish divergence. I'll show it in a little bit in the 1 hour. We are still within that downsloping channel. We have not been able to break out of it. What else is going on with this? Basically, volatility is open on the Bollinger Bands, sitting above that 20 MA, sitting high on the other side, but not too high at 65, right? That's where we'll be sitting for Ethereum. Now, let's look at a smaller scale. I mean, I want to look at something real quick. Yeah. If we were to go from here to here, we haven't even retraced that 236, so I'm not going to map it right now. I'll do it in the 4 hours so you can have a better look. Anyways, on the 4 hours, what is going on, right? You can see we came up, we kind of touched it, we curved. This is usually not that good, right? This is like a shift in momentum and shift in price action, right? Having this curve is not very good usually. Flip it around. There we go. Right, that's not very good to have. When I see it, I don't like it. It usually means price action to a downside. However, we could be sort of flagging. I doubt it. We had our flag here. We pumped up again. It wasn't too strong. Created that bearish divergence. Pushed us to the downside, right? Anyways, line's about to cross, right? MACD over the signal line, so we might get price action to the downside soon. Sitting, like I said, 61 on the RSI. Let's wait and see where the next candle takes us. I believe we might start to make negative momentum. Anyways, let's go on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, right? We had this sort of flag. We called it. We said, look, we're potentially developing a bull flag. Price action to the upside. We did get it from here to here. Higher high. We're making this island of positive momentum, which is very tiny. Going from high to low on momentum. Bearish divergence. Price action to the downside. We did get it. Same thing happening on the RSI, right? So we went kind of low. We hit 35. We're high on that sold scale. We were bouncing back up. Anyways, let's see what else happens, right? We are basically negating this past candle. We might be bouncing off this upsloping channel we had traced, and yeah, that could basically be it right now, right? What else is happening? Let's go on to yeah, that'll be it. I mean, it's not a strong impulse down. We are just developing a new pattern, waiting for it to actually develop. I mean, not seeing anything that I can trace here except like maybe a channel right now. If I take this, might be like a wedge or down sloping. Yeah, maybe it's a down sloping wedge, right? What is BB as my indicator? That's Bollinger Bands. That's these bands right here, right? And then they use the 20 MA as well. So Bollinger Bands just taking into account volatility, right? So it's expansion of volatility opening up on the market. That's why I have them. It's an indicator of volatility. I like them. When they contract, usually volatility is slow. And when volatility becomes tight, you can expect an explosive movement, right? That usually expands the Bollinger Bands. Look, here we had a contraction on the Bollinger Bands. We had some nice explosive movement to the upside. Here we're getting some contraction on that Bollinger Bands channel. We had some explosion to the downside, right? Not as explosive, not as sharp as this one, but still continuous downside movement, right? And I like Bollinger Bands basically to track volatility. That's why I use them for, right? Yeah. Anyways, what else is going on with Ethereum? Like I said, making negative, starting to stagnate on momentum. That's pretty good. We were making a negative bar a couple of seconds ago. This push to the upside certainly seems to be neutralizing this. Are we making something? Well, here, no. Here we're lower. We're higher. We could be making like a sort of hidden bullish divergence. Sorry, higher low, and basically it will be up to here, right? I was tracking this in the morning, and this wasn't not done developing, so this line doesn't play out, right? This was what it was in the morning when I was looking at it. We kept on dumping. It was potential hidden bullish divergence that we're developing, just like we here developed that bearish divergence, right? And we had it here, and then it would be from here to here, actually. And that will be it, right? Yeah, hidden bullish divergence that is developing. Just keep that in mind for your trades. Right now, like I said, we're bouncing back up. We're bouncing off this upsloping channel. We have some resistances. We have the fib node at 236, which is at $210.33. Regular retrace zones is the 238 to the 618, so about 239.24 to the $286.13. Anywhere within that range, it's a valid retrace. Yeah, let's move on to Ripple, because this right now, like I said, could be potentially falling wedge. Falling wedges are usually bullish. Potential price action to the downside. We have had time to cool off the oscillators. You know, we could still tank more, but right now, this pattern where it's sitting at right now could be this for sure. From high to low, if we were to retrace, depends on where you want to take your low. I would take it from here. It would be the most immediate one to high. We actually came and touched this channel's 236, right? The 205.04, and we are bouncing off it. You know, that could be valid for a retrace. That's the beginning of the retrace zone. We don't really have to start retracing here. It's just the most common zones are from the 382 to the 618. Anyways, we are bouncing off it right now. Again, let's wait and see how this keeps on developing, right? We are active on the Discord. If you're following us there, you will get updates as soon as we see them. You know, I do work during the day, so if I have time, I do post stuff on the Discord, even if they're just quick pictures of the screen and some slight comments for you guys to be aware, right? Now, anyways, let's move on to Ripple, right? A lot of people like Ripple. It's a solid coin, right? I have this article, right? It just says Ripple Coinbase Linkup rumor fueling XRP FOMO in 20% surge. Now, I don't believe that this is the only thing that's taking it, and it's not really a Coinbase link up. You know, we'll look at this video because it's a nice video. We'll look at some parts of the video, not the whole video. Maybe overall, we're gonna look at like maybe 3 minutes worth of video. But I do want to, the lady that speaks, Brianne Madigan, She works for Ripple. I can't remember exactly which position she holds there, but she does talk about some important stuff, right? I heard, I looked at this video before the stream, so I do know what it says and the times that we need to look at, right? Anyways, let's look at this.
And importantly, I would say, because there's a lot of misinformation out of there in the market generally, that Ripple did not create XRP, nor do we control it. If Ripple went away tomorrow, XRP would continue to exist, as would our ledger. There are currently 150 nodes on our ledger, and Ripple operates only 7 of those.
Right, I like this part because it just basically states that Ripple is not controlling XRP. A lot of people are saying that Ripple controls it. A lot of people saying it's dominated. It's basically they're tanking the price and everything. They're not controlling it. They put money on an escrow. Yes, it's being released every month. That's fine. That's the way it was supposed to work. That was the mechanism. They are not holding that money in their bags. They cannot dump it on the market. It's just the escrows releasing it, right? And like you said, there are so many nodes, and even if Ripple went away, XRP would still exist because still there are more nodes that are being used by other people or other people have control over them that are not Ripple, right? So again, Ripple is certainly not controlled. XRP is not controlled by Ripple. Now let's go on to the next one. It's at the 9 minute 16 second mark. So we're gonna start somewhere around here maybe.
Partnerships with, currency as an example. And that's where, Ripple has a real differentiated value proposition leveraging XRP. And this gets to the liquidity point as well, which is another hurdle. But part of what I'm spending my time doing is thinking about as we build, partnerships with, recently we publicly announced a big partnership with MoneyGram as an example.
From here's where I want to start.
They're dealing directly with consumers. We're dealing with bigger companies and banks. But we signed a deal with MoneyGram to help facilitate their cross-border flows. So there's an example of, say, somebody who lives in the US and wants to send Mexican pesos back to Mexico. So the way it works is through our partnership, we send MoneyGram's flow to one of what we call our sort of originating exchanges. Say it's Coinbase in the US as an example. The US dollars get swapped to XRP there, and then they get sent across border to a local exchange in Mexico, call it Bitso in this example. Bitso then takes that XRP and swaps it into local Mexican pesos, and that consumer or MoneyGram's end consumer client will receive Mexican pesos directly. And so we delivered significant cost savings.
Thanks for the following on Twitter, Benny.
Significant efficiency, and so that's a real value proposition to a company that's affecting the end consumers because their fees will be lowered as a result. And so as we scale XRapid on-demand liquidity product, we're launching in new corridors. And what we now need to look at is, okay, before we launched MoneyGram, we were looking at what is the current liquidity of XRP versus USD and XRP versus Mexican peso trading on Bitso at that point, and call it $500,000 a day. Well, if we want to start sending 10 and then getting to 50 and then getting to 100, how are we scaling that liquidity? And so we've been strategically partnering with a number of market makers around how do we establish contracts and incentives for people to want to engage so that as we send more volume through these channels, there is depth of liquidity in the crosses that we need to support that flow. But the way that we've structured these contracts is such that we leave an opportunity for new liquidity participants to have incentive to enter. And so we're starting to see already, even in the last month since we launched MoneyGram, into that corridor, a number of new liquidity participants are realizing there is a real arbitrage opportunity. We don't have to then pay to incentivize people to make markets because there's significant volume going through that corridor. And so
anyways, that's the part I wanted to show. That's the most important stuff, right? They are not partnering up with Coinbase per se as they are laying it out on the title of the stream. Link up with Coinbase. I mean, they are using them as an exchange, and we talked about this in another stream, right? Why did Bitso see an increase in flow of XRP to pesos, right? Because MoneyGram uses XRapid, and we stated they're probably using Bitso to buy the XRP and then sending it over and then convert it to pesos. Well, we got the other key to the puzzle today. I was not aware that they were using Coinbase, but apparently they are using Coinbase to purchase the US dollar to Ripple, then transfer that Ripple to Bitso and then sell on Bitso. Now, what that happens, and when she's talking about arbitrage, is imagine you buy $10,000 worth of XRP, or maybe more, $50,000, $500,000 of XRP on Coinbase. What's going to happen there, right? You're going to shoot the price of Coinbase up because you're going to end up eating that up to the upside, right? Now imagine you go into Bitso and then you sell it because you have to convert it back into pesos. Well, in Bitso, what you're going to do is you're going to end up selling at whatever price there is because you need to convert it back, and you're going to end up going down, right? Even though the bots will try to match it on the market, the operations will end up canceling each other, right? Negating each other at some point in time. However, in that time that the bots end up putting the markets back together, you have opportunities to buy here very low on Bitso and then sell a little bit higher on Coinbase, right? That is what arbitrage would be. Now, that means that you would have to have an account on both exchanges and have some sort of a way to transfer your funds quickly and then sell them back, or at least have funds in that exchange that you can sell back and sort of cancel that operation, and then you can transfer that XRP again, right? That's how you would play that and make basically a profit doing arbitrage. Like I said, I'm not buying it. It's not like a Linkup. It's more like they're just using them for the exchange service that they're providing it. I don't believe they are as active as a Ripple partner as Bitso is, because Bitso is for sure a Ripple partner listed on the website. I'm not sure if Coinbase is listed as such. Anyways, like I said, Benny, thank you for following the Twitter. Join us on the Discord. Links in the description. We do post a lot more on the Discord. We do post stuff on the Twitter, but on the Discord, it's much more often, right? Let's move on to Ripple. Let's see what's going on with Ripple. Ripple on the daily. Man, yesterday, right? Nice, another nice long green day, dominance coming in, money flowing into Ripple. Right now, Ripple's sitting at 5.03% of market cap. Right now, losing some dominance. That is fine. We went very strongly to the upside, man. It was a nice impulse. Again, there are pullbacks. Before we can run up again, we have to cool off the oscillators, and that is fine, right? So, again, money flowing into Ripple is a good thing. It could be on a couple of things, right? Even pre-swell. Expectations starting to happen, right? Swell being on first days of October, I think 2nd and 3rd or something like that. Could certainly be starting to make hype on the market and causing price action to the upside. Again, all alts are pumping, so there are many things that are going on, right? The news from this Coinbase, I mean, people are coming in, that's good. Money's flowing into the market. It is a good thing, right? No, what is going on with Ripple? Anyways, on the daily, right? We basically... I have too much stuff here. It's a little bit cluttered. I'll talk about it quickly. I'll go into the more micro scale. I'm gonna do the opposite here. I'll go into the micro scale now. I'll work back to the more macro. Anyways, we had potentially 3 falling peaks, right? 3 rising valleys. We talked about it. We set up this line, the green line. If we would have gone up and touched it, and then we would have broken above it, it could have been a potential 3 rising peaks. Again, it's a bullish. 3 rising valleys, sorry. It would have been a bullish pattern on the candles for it to develop. That's fine. It didn't play out. I even went ahead and labeled them, and I put them as a potential development, right? I even asked the question, is it being developed? Now, we didn't break it. We broke to the downside. That is fine. This didn't play out. And again, we're just looking for the possibilities that are there so we can identify them and then be able to make a call, right? Anyways, what happened? Well, yeah, we said we made this flag, bull flag, price action to the upside, another bull flag, price action to the upside, right? We went in the morning, yesterday we were here and we were saying, man, we don't know if we're going to break to the upside or downside, right? We are having bearish divergence develop, right, on the 1 hour with a higher high than a previous high and making less positive momentum. We said potential price action to the downside. We flagged. We ended up doing another bull move, another bull pull. Maybe not flagging, but actually dropping, because we ended up developing another bearish divergence. So double bearish divergence, not only on the MACD histogram, but also on the RSI, right? So lower strength in the RSI, right? Lower relative strength on the RSI. Here, the only time we did it on the histogram, on the MACD line, it was from here to here, right? Because from here to here, we were congruent with the market. We were going up with it. So it played out. We are seeing price action to the downside. We saw a sharp move to the downside. That is fine. We are retracing. I trace fibs from low to high. We are seeing that we have retraced past the 3. We touched the 382, right? We went under it. Then we went back above it. And then we kind of bounced off it. And then we are seeing price action to the upside again. That is fine. We are developing a pattern right now. We pull down, right? So we need to develop a pattern. Right now, this wouldn't be a pattern, right? So I'm not gonna call anything right now. We would need more candles to develop here for us to be able to develop something and call it what it is, right? Anyways, from here to here, it's a lower low, and it will be going with the market. So no bullish divergence being played out right now. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid of this, and I'll trade them again after we finish the stream. After we finish talking about the more macro picture, right? Let's go to 4 hours. Volatility open on the Bollinger Band, sitting over that 20 MA, starting to stagnate, making less positive momentum, going back to the more neutral zone on the RSI. We were making again bearish divergence, right? This would be what would be Class C type 3 weak bearish divergence, right? Developing higher highs, almost same strength on the RSI, not even not higher, but certainly not lower, right? On the even on the MACD histogram, we were always going up, right? This is higher than this, higher than this. So we were not developing any slant divergence or anything on the histogram, just on the RSI in the 4 hours. Anyways, we are starting to reset, like I said, sitting at 65. Still waiting for a pattern to develop. We just had an impulse down. We should consolidate in the 4 hours as well before we actually make something, right? If I even extend this channel a little bit more, we'll see where we're at. And we haven't touched it to basically bounce off it, right? What else is going on? Let's go into the now. Let's go into the daily. It's gonna be a little bit clearer. Anyways, on the daily, right, making that impulse down. We went below that 0.30 cent mark that we had placed as kind of like support. We bounced below it again. That's fine. Touching around that 236 that we broke above. We didn't quite go up and touch that 382 retracement, which would have been at 33 cents. But we kind of broke down to 29 cents again, and then we bounced off, right? We didn't actually make it there. We kind of cut off at 29.36. Anyways, again, we have to cool off before we win again. On the daily, we went into overbought territory, hitting 74 on the RSI. It's not too high, but it's still high, right, on the scale. Right now, we're more neutral at 65.98. Again, sitting over that 20 MA. Volatility open on the Bollinger Bands. Still making positive momentum. That is fine. That means we could still have movements, wild movements, right? We're not as contracted and making these tiny nothings during the day. We could as well just drop all the way down, but right now we should wait for it to consolidate and then see what we can chart and basically try to estimate what the market is going to do. What else? Yeah, that'll be it for Ripple, right? If anyone has any questions, you can toss them in the chat. Yeah, let's move on to Litecoin. Litecoin, right? Litecoin Foundation will be working with the Celsius network. It's basically a blockchain-based crypto lending program. The foundation will allocate an undisclosed portion of its treasury to the network. Now, Litecoin holders can receive up to 10.53% annually back on their crypto. And basically, their crypto holdings and dollar loans, right, as low as 4.95% as well. So basically, they lend you money as well. Celsius Network CEO Alex Mashinsky said, Litecoin being the first foundation to work with us and endorse us is a real milestone. It's a huge event. That is the first time I can say that the general community is recognizing Celsius for its utility it provides. Now, raising $50 million in 2018 on their initial coin offering, Celsius has completed over $2 billion in loans in 2019, and it held $250 million annually in consumer deposits, and it issued over $3.5 million in interest, and that is pretty good numbers, right? Now, Charlie Lee stated that we have chosen Celsius as the Litecoin Foundation's preferred interest-bearing wallet, as we are always interested in helping Litecoin holders take advantage of new use cases for their holdings. What better way to show our confidence in the product than by allocating a portion of the Litecoin Foundation's treasury? Basically, I think what they're doing is they weren't getting many donations, right? I think the only one they got some donations for was the one that they were asking for like 28 or 42 Litecoin or 45 Litecoin, ended up getting like 48. Other than that, a lot of donations were not flowing into the Litecoin Foundation, so they might be looking for a different ways to increase their capital, right? Because people are not putting money in, so they're probably lending it out so they can get it, right? Anyways, let me put the music back on. Sorry about that. After the YouTube, I forgot to put it in back in. So now let's move on to Litecoin. What is going on with Litecoin on the daily, man? Well, Litecoin yesterday, right, gained some dominance as well. Right now, losing some. Yesterday gained 3.99. Right now, is losing 1.14, sitting at 1.85 off market cap. Price of Ripple, I'm not sure if we said it, but if we didn't say it, it's sitting at 30 cents. So the full figure would be 0.30174. Litecoin sitting at $76.17. What is going on with Litecoin? We are still within this downsloping channel. We have been unable to break out of it. Where is this? There we go. Haven't been able to break out of it. We are, however, above that 50% line of that channel, and that is fine. We have not made a valid retrace, right? We did not touch that 236, so we haven't. Bitcoin retesting bottom? No, Bitcoin is not retesting bottom, dude. Bitcoin bottom will be way below, right? Sorry, I'll jump into Bitcoin real quick. I mean, if you want to call a recent bottom, this will be a more bottom-ish look like place, right? Right now we are just floating around this, even though people are calling the 10,000 level the most recent Bitcoin bottom. Is not really been established as a bottom, right? Because we are within this triangle. Right? We have to break out of it, and we could break to the upside or downside. And look at this, we have many more days here around this area that will confirm this more as a bottom or strong support than this, right? Even here you would have more support in this zone, this blue zone, right? So it's not a bottom. We're just kind of like going down with the market, right? We have not gone up to touch this part of the structure again, and when I zoomed in, it moved. Anyways, I'm pretty sure this channel could change if we were to touch the top parts of the recent drop. Okay, Bitcoin retesting model. I mean, towards the recent drop, going downward. Yeah, I mean, it's been going downwards for the past like 7 days, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 days. But still, man, I mean, we are just touching this September 11th bottom part, right? So we basically, it's taken us 8 days to undo what we did in 2 days. So not really too scared about it touching the 10,000. I mean, we are still within the channel, and we have to break out of this sometime soon, right? We are very deep into the pattern, and usually Bitcoin breaks, I think it's like 75 to or 65 to like 95% of the way, and we are like at 80% of the way. So we should be breaking out soon. It could be that the market doesn't know what to do because back is coming out, and basically everyone's just waiting for something to happen, right? So again, everyone yesterday was being really bullish because of the Fed cutting the rates, right? The interest rates. But nothing happened, right? This was yesterday. Nothing happened. Well, yeah, Bitcoin heading down. It's not worrying me. I mean, you know, whatever. Bitcoin, I mean, on the daily, dude, Bitcoin can come down and touch this upsloping line, this green line here, right? And still be within that pattern. So, I mean, it could come down and touch, what is this, 9,500 area, you know, and bounce off it again. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I also think that, right? People could potentially sell the news. Join my video chat. What do you mean my video chat? I don't have a video chat. I mean, you want to, like, talk on video? 10,095. Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, it can still come all the way down here, touch here, and then bounce off, right? Not a problem. It would still be within that pattern, man, and that's a valid move, right? So that'll be it, right? So, I mean, I'm not too worried about it going down, you know. Right now, Bitcoin, I would say, is the least of the worries because it's just moving within the pattern. If it comes down here and touches here, then yeah, potential break to the downside, and we could dump and start touching other places. But you know, you have support here at like 9,746, right? And then you have this whole support area that would be congruent with the bottom part of the triangle right now. which would be around that 9,400, right? Even though we have it in a curve as well, I would need to extend this to cover it here. And then I would need to shift this a little bit more as well. Right, something like this. So even though we have been cradled by this curve, we are still not touching it again. We could come down here and touch it, right? I have this triangle here highlighted for you to see it better. Some people are saying that it's a downsloping triangle. Some people are saying it's a symmetrical triangle. It depends on what exchange you look at. If you look at it here, you can certainly see that it's a little bit more, still downsloping, but more symmetrical, right? Not really flat on the bottom side. If we look at it here, then yeah, you're a little bit more flat. But I also didn't use this as a touch point, right? So I went below it just to illustrate where the triangle is, for it to be easier to detect for people, right? If I wanted to do the real line, it would be something like this. So it would be congruent more or less with the other one, right? Upsloping, or a little bit upsloping the line, right? Anyways, nothing to worry about on Bitcoin, right? Anyways, let's finish Litecoin real quick. Like I said, we haven't made the valid retrace. We haven't touched that 236. We are stagnating on momentum, and we never went overbought on the RSI. You know, it was one of the coins that pumped the less of the alts. Anyways, right now sitting at 57.84 on the RSI. Let's go into the 4 hours and see what's happening with this. Impulse down just like everyone else. Here we didn't develop any sort of bearish divergence, right? Maybe here on the peaks we did here a little bit, you know, going up and a little bit down on the RSI. But overall, this one kind of canceled out because it went a little bit higher, even though it was higher. But on the histogram, it's fine, and on the MACD line, it's fine. We are stagnating on momentum, starting to make less, sitting around 59 on the RSI, which puts us on that neutral zone. And basically, we have to wait for some sort of pattern to develop, right? We just had a nice impulse up and took a small dive. Nothing to worry about. We haven't even retraced a lot. If we take this as a low, we go high. We have retraced to at 236, but if we want to take the real low, we would have to come down here, maybe touch this wick, right around there. And yeah, we still, you know, we're kind of sitting at that 236, so it could be a valid retrace for Litecoin right now. And again, if we retrace, we could hit that 382 or that 618, which would put us at $73.37 or $69.09. Again, that would be valid areas for retracement. I'm going to get rid of this so it's not so cluttered. We can always trace them again. Let's go into more micro scale. 1 hour. What's happening? Higher high, more positive momentum, right? Here, higher high, like I said, a little bit more like the same momentum. This would be a bearish divergence. Again, it would be class C or type 3. You know, it would be from here to here, more or less of like a flat line. Even though it was not happening here, then you had divergence bearish here, from here to here. Not on the histogram, but on the RSI, right? That'll be strong bearish divergence. Class A or type 1. And then this would certainly mean also price action to the downside, even though you had it in different indicators, right? You didn't develop it on the MACD line per se, but you did on two indicators, different parts. That might be why we're seeing this, and it's just congruent with all the other alts on the market. Anyways, making a nice impulse up right now, a small one. This is not really a pattern yet. We need for more bars to develop if we consider this to be an impulse down, right? Let's go on to Binance. Binance, what is happening with Binance? Well, Binance launched today. So if you're in the States and you're trading on Binance, or not trading, but registering on Binance, congrats. 13 states were not allowed to register. Basically, they are Alabama, Alaska, Connecticut, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Louisiana, New York, North Carolina, Texas, Vermont, and Washington. Now, once the registration process started, Binance will begin accepting inbound transfers of Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, USD Tether, and apparently they're also going to take USD Fiat, right? So that's pretty good. But they said they're going to take it upon account verification, right? Probably. Binance US is about making sure people pay US taxes. Yeah, probably, man. They are cozying up to a lot of the regulators, right? They got their approved their BUSD, their Binance US dollar, which is going to be listed on PAX, I think, and probably on their exchange as well, which is a Tether Binance dollar, which is going to be one on one with the US dollar, and they got approved by what is it? They got approved by the New York Financial Service something. I can't remember the name. Anyways, so basically, what I liked about this is that if you want to trade on this and you can, they are stating that there will be no trading fees until November the 1st. So you will be able to trade and, without the fees. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's still banned in New York because they're cozying up to the people, right? They haven't quite gotten to bed. Maybe once their the Binance US dollar comes out fully, they might be allowed to get listed there, right? Anyways, let's move on to the other article because it also touches base on this, right? Anyways, this is the other article that we have. And this is that finance CFO Wei Zhao says that his firm wants to grow the pie bigger by operating up an exchange in the US, which just it's launching, right? And they says that it might be the best way to do it, right? Now, Zhou said to Crypto Slate, this website, on an interview, and this is basically his words, I think the underlying theme here is that 99.99% of the world money is still in fiat, and the biggest currency within that fiat is the US dollar. So as we look at the crypto world today, the user base is still very much a subset of a larger world. So it's really important for us to be able to grow our fiat presence. Binance US dollar is a big step in terms of enabling fiat to US dollar as an on and off ramp within the Binance ecosystem. And at the same time, it is really important to expand physically the exchange business itself into the United States, right? Now, the fundamental thesis that drives these types of expansion efforts, according to Zhao, is that Bitcoin started its life cycle because people did not have trust in financial institutions. In fact, institutions in general. So he's actually stating we want to enable more crypto ownership, and we want Binance to be, the new users' entry point into crypto. Secondly, we want them to trade or exchange their crypto with anyone on Binance services. Unsure if they're going to be linked to the other main Binance, like the Binance in China or whatever else they have locations. And the third one is actually a key element to it. We want to see higher ownership of Binance Coin. We want to see more use cases for Binance Coin around the world. Now, Binance is at its core a retail-driven organization in sales world, but in the name of the name of the game is grow the pie, right? That's what they're aiming for. That is the cryptocurrency market. Then the exchange needs to set its sights on institutions, so they will start to target institutions, right? And to do that, they have to be in the US so they can start playing with them. They have been very aggressive lately. Binance Lending, futures platforms, two of them launching simultaneously. Binance US, their developer, Binance, I can't remember what it's called. They're like in-house developing for Binance. So again, Binance Learning, I think it's called. But anyways, again, really pushing a lot lately. In these past few months, there have been a lot of news from them. They really want to eat up the world right now. And then this guy also went on to say, if you ask me, we want to attract more trading on Binance, and yes, and if that trading is done by institutions, then we're gonna be targeting those customers, these users, because they do have pretty much all the liquidity and the wealth in the world. So basically, he's saying institutions hold the liquidity. That is true. A lot of institutions have a lot of money. I'm not sure who they want to attract, but they are targeting them for sure. And again, ties up a little bit with the previous article, right? With the launching of the Binance US. So I wanted to cover both real quick. Let's go look at Binance and see how it's doing. Let's look at Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin, yeah, still 10,085. Yeah, so nothing much going on with Bitcoin. Just chilling. 1, 2 movements to the downside. This obviously just got negated a little bit. It's a different type of bullish divergence now. It will be like weak bullish divergence that we're developing. More or less similar negative momentum bars and lower price. not so much on the RSI itself. We are touching that channel. You know, we might bounce off it. If not, like I said, I'm not worried, dude. You know, if you consider this low to high at this point, you retraced more than 50% of the way, then you bounce back off, and you just kind of been selling off since. This will be the 1 hour for Binance, so like again, nothing to worry about. Even better, man. I mean, I'm not sure if it will actually count, but if at some point in time we like end up wicking around here and then retracing again, even though wicks are maybe not the best to be calling double bottoms, we could certainly make a sort of double bottom and then bounce off. You know, but I wouldn't call it that right now. I wouldn't actually expect it to play out. Anyways, see, rates went down and Bitcoin is not doing anything. So it's just dumping. So not really correlation on Fed rates and price of Bitcoin. So yep, like we said yesterday, we might get something. We might see some speculation, but nothing happening. Let's go look at Binance. Binance yesterday on the daily. For market cap, yesterday, nice green day, gaining market cap plus 4.38%. Right now, losing some 2.03%, sitting at 1.29 of the whole market. It is very tiny. The key player yesterday was Stellar, right? The Lumens, they made large movements, man. Anyways, what is going on with this? Still within that downsloping channel. We kind of broke out of it momentarily. We were rejecting higher prices and broke back in. Again, if we go from high to low, we have not made a full retrace. So it's not a valid retrace zone yet. We are still going within this downsloping channel. I'm going to extend it a little bit more. Anyways, is something happening here? Not so much on the daily that I can see quickly. Still making positive momentum, sitting low on the RSI at 42, but not too low, right on that neutral zone. Now let's go into the 4 hours. On the 4 hours, right, you can see better that we are making movement to the downside. If you consider this to be a kind of pull, then we would kind of be flagging right now. You know, maybe it would be like a downsloping channel of sorts. Still making less positive momentum, dropping low even to more neutral zone on the RSI at 42.71. Volatility open on the Bollinger Band. We might get a bounce off that 20 MA and then bounce off it, and that could certainly play out, right? Again, MACD and signal line diverging. Let's go on to the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, sitting below that 20 MA. What else? Making more negative momentum, right? No divergence for sure. No bullish divergence yet. We did not develop a bearish divergence either. So, you know, we are rejecting higher prices still though. And sitting around 43 on the RSI, which is low. Volatility is still open on the Bollinger Bands again. We could certainly come up again, touch that 20 MA, and then maybe see if we run. However, we're still making negative momentum, right? That'll be it for Binance. Not much going on with Binance. Like I said, I want to touch Lumens, right? Because they did play some amazing stuff. So let's go on the daily, right? I'm going to look at this one. I like the Coinbase better. Man, on Coinbase, look at this, man. This really hit the moon, man. It broke out of this channel that we had traced, right? Yesterday, kind of went up to it, we touched it, you know, broke out of it, went back into it, that was fine. But today, man, we kind of bounced off it, and then we just like propelled, man. But it's insane. It went, I mean, it would have been good to be able to sell here at like 12.6 cents. So yeah, so 12 cents, starting at like 6 cents, right? It went 100% up, and then just tanked amazingly. Right now, still making price action to the downside. It was expected, you know, after that impulse. This would be FOMO, man, or a lot of people getting out of bad positions. They got cut into XLM and they were probably holding. Let's look at the 4 hours, right? As you can see, this long wick happened all in one 4 hour period. Anyways, then we still made some price action to the upside. Right now, going down. That's fine. Starting to make our first bar of slightly less positive momentum. We hit overbought on the RSI, insanely high levels at 92. We are still on the overbought at 76. Stuff we could do certainly would be flag around this area and reset the oscillators, or we could still dump a little bit more and cool off quickly, right? When was the last time we saw this on And I'm actually gonna do this real quick and see when was the last time we were that high on the RSI, right? I mean, right now in the 4 hours I can't see it, so I'm gonna have to go. And maybe this chart doesn't have that much information in it. Yeah, this chart doesn't have that much information in it. I'm gonna have to go look at another chart. Dumping? Which one? Bitcoin? Man, don't worry, man. Bitcoin around 10,000 is still fine. Worry whenever we break 9,500. That's the bottom part of that triangle, and you know, that's when I would be worried about dumping, right? If we break out, confirm a breakout, and then we actually see it still go down, then I would for sure start worrying about a dump coming in. Anyways, on the 1 hour, man, you can see that this move played in 1 hour, right? We made some sort of no, we didn't. I was gonna say, yeah, we did. I mean, if we don't consider the wick, because this is obviously FOMO, we go from here to here, it's a higher high. Not the wick either. We'll just have to consider candle bodies. And then from here to here will be a lower high, right? Even here, lower high on the relative strength. That's what's giving us this bearish divergence, again, price action to the downside. Even though it's dumping a little bit, it's not too much. This wick was certainly insane. We seem to be stabilizing around this area. Like I said, we might cool off. We certainly reset the RSI to a more neutral zone at 55.5, and we are still making negative momentum, but we have to wait. Yeah, that's fine, man. 9,800. Let's go look at Bitcoin, man. 9,990. 9,900. 9,800. Yeah, it's taking a small move to a downside, right? Stuff that could happen. Well, touch this mid part of this channel that we had used it previously and then bounce off it. We could certainly extend this channel a little bit, and yeah, we have dropped below it if we extend it. So, you know, I had it initially here, broke out of it. We were kind of like bouncing off it. That's fine. We still have that this 9,746. It might not be too strong of a support. We have used it before as resistance, right? That's why I traced it around there. And again, like I said, we can't come all the way down here to like 9,400, 9,500. If we were to drop here on this hour, right, we could come all the way down to 9,400 and then see where it goes, right? Again, it depends on what exchange you're looking at, but other exchanges are higher. Like this one would be at 9,800. This one is 9,700. And apparently it's bringing down other coins with it, right? Ripple's starting to move to a downside also. Ethereum is probably doing the same. So Bitcoin dumping will wipe down the gains of everyone else. That is a fact. And that was a possibility, right? Now, we are breaking that support, man. It is going down fast, man. Yeah. We could certainly come down here, touch this part. If we break, man, if we break this, I mean, we can wick below it, but if we break it and confirm being out of this triangle, move to the downside, man. And targets coming in quickly, right? If we break here to the downside, certainly this would be the next stop. 8,465. We would have some sort of psychological support maybe around the 9,000 area. And then if we break this support at 8,400, we would see 7,500. And then below we have this other area that we used as support previously, which would be that bottom part of this more major channel that we have, you know. And after that, 5,000, right? So those are places where we can go. Look, if you want to do this legit, we have to go from here to here, right? And we are retracing, and we are dropping a little bit below that that 382, right? Which would be 9,729. We could come all the way to the 50%, which is common retrace areas, right? We have done it before. We did it here. It would certainly put us outside of the structure, but it would be around 8,456, and then the 618 would be around 7,183. We never retraced to the 618. Again, we could retrace here, touch it, and then bounce off again. We have to reset those oscillators. We are hitting on the 4-hour oversold. Right now, we just went into oversold, right? Again, once you go into oversold, there are some chances that you can come back, at least reset something. We are touching that bottom part of the channel. Let's see if it holds. Not the, yeah, the down sloping channel. Let's see if it holds, and if it doesn't hold, I hope this triangle holds, because if it breaks, man, we are gonna go downhill. We could go downhill quickly, right? Even though we have this area of support that we have traced, that has been areas where we have retraced, you know, previously. So just areas that we should keep in mind. I'm gonna go on a more micro scale, see what is going on. We usually don't do 30 minutes, but I want to see what is playing out here. This is all happening in the last 30 minutes. Let's go on 15 minutes. It's probably still gonna happen in the last 15 minutes. I mean, dumps like this usually have pullbacks, right? So again, we might be pulling back right now. You see, we are starting to go up. Unsure yet if this is the bottom, but once we hit bottom, we could see a strong pullback. We are pulling back. See, 9,600. We touched 9,591. Now 9,684. Usually, when you see this, yeah, I mean, you know, it's the market, and I'm not worried about this. Like I said, so long as it doesn't break this triangle structure, I'm not worried. I mean, it's valid for it to come down, touch it, and then bounce off again. Anyways, like I said, we are retracing. See, we are retracing 9,700. We might push back down a little bit. We could go down, back up. These all happen in 15 minutes, man. It probably all happened in like 5 minutes. See, 5 minutes, we're making a new candle. In like less than 10 minutes, we've seen that dump. So again, when you have sharp dumps like that, you can expect some sort of pullback. So if this would have been the bottom, man, you could have gotten in, made a quick 300, you know, scalp it and get out of it again, you know, because it might dump again. Right now, after this impulse down, we would have to wait for some consolidation to happen. And after we consolidate, we can see something else. Right now, 9,703. Like I said, I don't like the micro scales. I just want to see how long it took for this movement to happen, right? And if we look at the 3 minutes, it happened in the in 6 minutes, right? We dumped in 6 minutes. We dump a little bit more in this 3 minute chart. So 9 minutes we dumped, and now we are retracing a little bit. That is fine. Now we hit that 9,746 spot on, and we're rejecting it. Now we're going back up. You know, I'm not too worried about this, man. We haven't dumped 10%, man. 10%, it's almost normal to see in these types of markets. Now we're going back down a little bit, you know, but we are oversold in all the micro scales, right? Anything below 4 hours, we are oversold. See, oversold. Even in the daily, we're probably gonna be low on the other side, right? We're starting to get into that highly sold but not oversold territory, and that is fine. I mean, all this does is gives us more room to run to the upside, right? Again, here it looks like we touched that bottom part of the channel on the daily, and we're bouncing back. That is fine. We run the whole channel. No worries. We know in the more micro scale that we actually went below it a little bit. We wicked and then bounced off. Again, it could be that the channel is not adjusted. I could always adjust it again. You know, I was considering it from here on the top, on the bottom part with these two immediate touches, which it would be the way you place a channel, right? But if I wanted to include these bottom parts even here and then go here, will still be a valid channel. Not a lot of respect for that midline for sure. That's why I would not like it, but you know, it would still be a valid downsloping channel. So I'll place it the way I had it just because I liked it, and it's been holding as support, and it did have better touch points at that mid part on the 1 hour, and that's why I liked it, right? Anyways, now we are sitting at that support area a little bit above that 9,700. Again, not too worried. Asia just came in, so maybe it's Asia dumping, right? Maybe the Asians were expecting for the Fed price to make this pump to the upside somehow, but it's not playing out. But not worried about this at all, man. We are still now below it again. We might flirt with this sort area of support. I mean, that we're touching this yellow line. What fib node is that yellow line? It's a 382, right? So we are basically rejecting the 382, which is a retrace zone. We dip below it, and then we're going back up. That is fine. So not worried about this, right? Like I said, if we don't break this, you see a triangle, right? It would be this yellow line here and this green line. If we don't break that, I'm not worried. Again, here's a little bit more clear, right? I'll even toss in the line here, man. Goes from here to here. I have something like that, and then I'll fix this tail end. And it'll be like this, right? So more or less looks the same as it does in the other exchange. We came close to it. I mean, we're still far, you know, like I said, 9,300. I think the other one is like 9,400-ish. You know, might be a little bit off. Exchanges have different wicks and prices where they go to. So I'm not too worried about that small push to the downside. Again, it could be that we're closing a gap maybe from the weekend. I'm not sure. I didn't look at the futures, but you know, whatever, man. I'm not worried about this at all. Yeah. So, Benny, well, where you said you can't do Binance? Are you living in one of those states that is banned? Guys, 7 people watching. Thank you for tuning in, guys. If you haven't done it yet, you should like, comment, and subscribe. We are live every night, and we talk about crypto often. AM. Binance is active on the app. What do you mean? Well, I didn't get it. So again, flirting with that 382, right? That's what Bitcoin is doing. I mean, we'll stay here for a little bit and chat about this. They might block VPNs, man. Plus, they might ask for KYC. And if you have a driver's license from one of the banned states, I'm not sure how they're going to handle that. I mean, because it's for residents of the state, right? So if you reside in one of those states, when you do your KYC stuff, you might be blocked. Oh, Binance XL. Okay, cool. But you can get into Binance, right? So do you get into Binance US, or are you going to get into Binance, just the regular Chinese Binance? Or they're not actually in China, but you know, the main one. Yeah. Right. Yeah. If you're a U.S. citizen, you know you're gonna get blocked out of that at some point in time because they're blocking all U.S. citizens out of the main Binance. Yeah. I do have a delay in the chat. So whenever you type stuff, when I say stuff, it takes like 20 seconds to get to you. And then whenever you reply to me, it takes also a couple seconds to get to me, right? Yeah, Singapore. I couldn't remember where it was. Yeah. Anyways, we seem to be stabilizing around there. I mean, stuff that could happen for sure. We might see another push to the downside. You know, we have not developed a pattern yet. Impulse down, consolidation, pattern development. You know, I would like to see a bear flag develop. I'll just change one real quick. Maybe something like this would be nice. You know. Then we get exhausted and then run to the upside again. That's what likely happens, right? Because then we create a bearish divergence. If we develop this, if we don't develop this and we develop something like this, and then I would be worried about another dump coming, right? Because usually that would be a bear flag, actually. Sorry, and it would create another form of exhaustion on the buying and then dump again, right? But if we go here, it creates exhaustion on the selling. On the selling part, right? So price action to the upside. This would be like a bear flag, bull flag. Bull flag, bear flag, right? Sorry, I got a little bit mixed with my terms there. But I'm getting tongue twisted too. You have a feeling it's gonna dump farther? Yeah, maybe, man. I mean, look, being a little bit more realistic, right? If we were, I'm not gonna take the measure because then it acts weird, but I'll take this. If we dump from the highest point to the lowest point, which I'm going to consider this to be the low point of our structure, and you break out here, you are looking at prices of around like the 4,600 area, man. You know that would be a measure move of that. but you have supports along the way, right? And you have areas of supports. You might not dump that bad. Anyways, if you kind of do a U-turn and break to the upside, then you will be seeing prices of 15,000, right? 15,500. But again, I'm not too worried about this really. You know, certainly every time we come close to snap, it's going weird. There we go. Every time we come close to touching this bottom part, and the more we use it as support, right, the more likely it is that we're gonna break it. Right now we didn't touch it as support, but the more you bounce along a support, the more chances that you actually break to the downside. So we haven't touched the upside in a while. You know, we touched the downside 1, 2, 3, 4 times. We only touched the upside 1, 2. Here we didn't touch it 3 times, and then after that we haven't been unable to touch to the upside, right? I mean, this down sloping line certainly means that there's not a lot of buyers willing to buy at higher levels, right? So everyone wants to buy here low. So the sellers are also getting, you're running out of sellers at that frame, right? So if there was, like, I don't know, let's say 10 people selling 10,000 Bitcoin around this level, that 10,000 Bitcoin gets exhausted, then you drop to the next level of supply, right? So, you know, that's usually what happens with markets. Now, same thing happens when you're going to the upside, right? People are willing to buy at higher levels, and you exhaust it, and then you have to go to the next level up. Here, you exhaust whatever is there for selling, and then you break to the next level down. But again, like I said, man, we are sitting above that 9,746 again. You know, we might get a stronger pullback from here. You know, look at this one, man. This move was much larger. At least on the body size than this one, right? It would have been like if you closed down here. So we did retrace a little bit better. And if you look at what happened here, we created one of those flags that I told you, right? Those bear flags, and then price action to a downside. If we start consolidating upwards, again, more chances of us breaking down to the downside. Support of that epic triangle, 9,475. It depends on what exchange you look at, bro. Looking at it here on this exchange would be Coinbase. Right now, if you were to go down at this hour, you will be talking about here, right? So 9,464. The more you move, the little bit higher it'll get, because it's slightly up sloping, right? But if you go on to this one, here I don't have it traced, right? So ignore what we touched. We touched another support here, like 9,650, which used to work as support around this exchange, which is Gemini. We are still within that 75%, right? This is an equidistant channel, right? It's like from 0, 25, 50%, 75, 100%. So we are still within that 75 and 100%, even though we just dumped. So I'm not worried about this like yet. You know, we are still in a down sloping channel. This down sloping channel, if you haven't been to the show, you probably didn't know. But this down sloping channel, I traced it here, right? We had this more major upsloping trend. We kind of broke out of it slightly. But then to signify that other channel, I didn't want it to be too cluttered. I added this just simple channel with the 50% line in it for us to look at. But if I were to trace it on this exchange, I would probably get different points, right? And like from here to here, right? And then here it would be like 9,314, right? And then you would start to slightly move up. In this other triangle, right? This would be Bitstamp. Right here, you would be at 2,349. So again, all the exchanges, because they all have different trading candles. I mean, same pattern, but you know, some go up a little bit more, some go down a little bit more. You know, fluctuations within each exchange. Then you get these slight variations on where it could be, right? So let's say the 9,300 to a 9,475 area would potentially be breaking that triangle, right? And then you can start thinking about, well, where is it going to go? Well, we already said that if we break to the downside, we did a measure move, right? But then we also talked about the supports that we have on the way down. So again, supports at 9,746. Right now we're sitting above it. 9,793. So we're like $50 above it, right? We are still retracing a lot. And I hope we keep on retracing, right? Like I said, it flash crashes like that. Sometimes big players come in and try to like scare people into like the market's gonna go down and more selling. Maybe some positions got canceled. I don't believe this is shorts or longs. Yeah, I don't think it's a position being canceled. It's not that long of a move. But certainly, maybe some positions got canceled out, and maybe that's what they're dumping, or maybe someone, decided to move their money elsewhere. Who knows? I'm not buying these as a dump. It's normal to see this, and like I said, dude, it's right now price action to the downside on the daily. So that's the 4 hours. Let's go on the daily. It's still the same. So it's like a 3.8% move to the downside, right? Hey, what's up, Emmanuel? How's it going, man? You starting to get it? Cool, man. Anyways, like I said, so potential price, like, I wouldn't worry, man. It's a 3% move. Look, from here to here is probably like a much larger move, right? From here to here, it's definitely a lot much larger move. If I were to take a measure of that and go from here to here, it would be like a, man, snap, is that right? Yeah, it's like a 30.97% drop. That would definitely worry me, right? I mean, seeing a 10% drop on Bitcoin, it's not that much, man. Honestly, it's common on this market, right? 5% drops, 10% drops. I mean, the day is just starting, granted, but 3.73, it's null. It's almost nothing, man. Yeah. Anyways, 9,776, still $30 above that sort of resistance area that we have, so not much. Yeah. Anyways, I'm probably gonna go to sleep and see where the market wakes up tomorrow, man. I'm not sure we're gonna get a lot of stuff happening. We might consolidate around that area, impulse down. Here we had some like, we could be doing one of this in a much smaller scale, right? Impulse down. Here we have some sort of consolidation, and then like impulse up again. We're not just to make more price action to the downside. We could get another candle to the downside, get some exhaustion going on, and then see where it goes. Even if we go here, it would be a higher low than the previous major low that we had. Again, being in an uptrend of sorts, right? Even it's not an uptrend because we have this other part of the triangle, right? But we will still be making movement to the upside, and that is what matters. Making higher lows still. Again, nothing on the maybe on the RSI we do, right? And I think we do right now. If I go from here to here, right, and I go from where was this here to here, even though this candle has not closed on the daily, it would be a higher low, right? And if this drops a little bit more, which might, we could be creating a sort of hidden bullish divergence, And I'm trying to see if they play out the same level, 38.08 and 38.83. It's actually slightly going in, so it's not yet playing out. But if this were to go down a little bit more, we could develop hidden bullish divergence, and that could certainly play out a little bit better, right? Just something to think about, food for thought, because like I said, right now I'm not sure if this is going to play out. I'm just trying to figure out what else we can pinpoint on the chart. Anyways, yeah. So, does anyone have any other questions or stuff they want to look at? I mean, just looking at Bitcoin. I mean, finally we got a move. It makes it a little bit more exciting, but it was kind of boring to look at Bitcoin for a while. Look at this. Since when was this? Since August 15, we kind of were moving sideways, right? So not a lot happening. At least this brings a little bit spiciness into the market. And Ethereum sitting at above $204 still, right? So still retracing, but that's fine. And Ripple sitting at 29 cents. I mean, shit, it's fine. How did I get into crypto? You'll experience. How did I get into crypto? I got into crypto because of Ripple. And well, I heard of Bitcoin for a while, but I got into it because of Ripple and the project and what they did. Right when I was looking at all the cryptos, and when I started looking at, I heard of Bitcoin in, when was it, Silk Road, 2013, 2012. Whenever the whole Silk Road scandal came out, I was looking at it. Hey, what's up, David? How's it going, man? Um, I had a good experience. Yeah. Well, yeah. Analysis is not that hard, if you know what kind of stuff you're looking for. But I kind of started looking into it in 2013, and I didn't get into it actually until like 2017, I think, or 2018. 2018. Um, but I've been looking at the market for a while. The whole it wasn't so accessible back then. Or maybe it was through Bitso or the other exchanges, but it didn't appeal to me at first. I just kind of like looked into it, and then I started to get into it, and I started to look at the companies and projects and what they did, and the white paper, and so that huge impulse up on Bitcoin. I had a little bit of Bitcoin before 2017, but very little Bitcoin, and I just kind of like was looking at for like see what it did. And certainly in Mexico, there's not a lot of places where you can buy stuff with Bitcoin. So I just like I kind of hold or invest in it and then like sell it. I think there's a bar now called Bitcoin Embassy, which lets you sell stuff there, or they take Bitcoin as payment. But I've been living in Mexico City for the past 10 years, so there's not a lot. There weren't many exchanges here, and there were not also many places that take it. So it was a little bit a research type of thing I had to do. Look for an exchange that was good enough. Then you had that whole Mount Gox, the debacle where a lot of Bitcoin got hacked and stolen. And it kind of kept me at bay a little bit. Like I said, I got some Bitcoin out of like faucets. Just back in like 2014, I started doing a little bit of faucets, just for fun. And I got a couple of satoshis there. And I still have some sats. It's not a full Bitcoin that I'm holding, but like Bitcoin, I didn't like it very much because it has no back to it, right? It's just pure speculative asset. But Ripple is the one that I hold the most. And when I was doing the research, I found out what Ripple was doing, how they were working, what they were trying to solve, the liquidity issues they were trying to fix. That really got me into crypto a lot more, right? That certainly got me excited. When you see those payments and you try to because I've sent money to the US before, and when you have those high fees that the bank charges you here to send there, and then when they receive it there, the bank there takes another commission. It's just pain in the ass, man. XRP is basically undoing everything it did yesterday. That's not very good, man. I mean, we did develop bearish divergence. We talked about it, but we're going down a lot, man. I hope we can hold this channel as support. I put it in the chat, man. I said we were developing that divergence. We might see some price action to the downside. But this is not because of XRP just tanking, right? It's because Bitcoin is bringing the market down. What is Bitcoin doing? 9,752, still above that 9,000. I can't remember what level we had it at. 9,400 something. Anyways, let's go on the 1 hour. Right? We didn't even make a pattern, man. We just make another leg down. We should start to consolidate again. Do something, But look, we made a flag. We said we could potentially break down. We're making a bearish divergence from here to here. We did not play out. Then we made it again from here to here, And it actually played out. Then we were kind of flagging. Like I said, we could have that 3 rising valleys. We didn't get it. We started to break to the downside. That's what's happening, right? Anyways, yeah. So, does anyone have any other questions? I mean, so I got into crypto by curiosity, basically, looking for different ways of holding money and looking for projects that were trying to solve something. So, I was also gonna get into Stellar. I got Stellar from airdrops, but I never got into it. I just hold it, and then I got what else? A little bit of Litecoin, but very little. I don't hold almost anything. Yeah, sure, Stellar. Yeah, we did look at. I'll look at Litecoin real quick because not Litecoin, sorry, XLM real quick because we already covered it, and then I'll jump onto that seller to USDT, right? Anyways, yeah, we did say all this happened within 15 minutes, man. Look, we actually went down on the scale. This was just one 15-minute wick. This is on Coinbase. It went up a lot. It went over 100% its value, and then we had a long retrace, right? That's why I'm not worried about seeing like long spikes, dude. Usually you get pullbacks. That's why with Bitcoin I'm kind of calm. You know, we might get a pullback. That's fine. Anyways, here it went up a lot. In this other exchange, it didn't go up that much. See, it just went to like 9 cents. On Coinbase, it did go up all the way to like 12.5, 12.6 cents. Yeah, it was a pullback, man. It's normal, right? It's not healthy to see that. So it starts to go up. It's like FOMO, right? A lot of people fear missing out. Maybe a lot of people cashing out bad positions, right? Because man, this price you had not seen it since the 26th of June, right? Somewhere around that area. So a lot of people maybe got or bought around these areas, expecting the price to go up, and then they had this massive dump. And as soon as it started to go up, man, they just like cashed out immediately, right? So could certainly be something like that. You know, maybe it started to go up, and then a lot of, or maybe a lot of shorts got canceled. I'm not sure, man. Maybe this impulse up canceled some shorts and it spiked it up, you know, and then market brought it back down. Anyways, like I said, any movement like this in the market is gonna have a reaction, right? It's gonna have a big pullback. You have to consolidate. We did consolidate. We created a bearish divergence as well. Price action to the downside. We talked about it in the stream earlier. Broke to the downside again. So again, negative momentum developing. That bearish divergence on the MACD histogram and the RSI, not on the MACD line, right? Now let's go look at that other coin, Seller. Seller to Tether. All right, cool. Man, it's taking a dive, right? Let me go on the daily and see what is happening. Okay, man. So look, man, we're getting a lot of contraction on the Bollinger Bands. We could expect a large move to happen. Hopefully, it won't be to the downside. We were making positive momentum, starting to stagnate, and we're sitting low on the RSI at 39 again. That puts us on that high sold, but not on the oversold. Right below that 30 would be oversold. Let's see what is going on here. What trend can we make? This will definitely be a down-sloping trend that we have not been able to break out of. I'm not sure where to begin charting it because if I go here, we kind of broke out of it. It wouldn't apply. And if I go here, I think we're gonna segregate a lot of stuff. So I'm just gonna play with the chart real quick. This might be the way we want to go, right? So so from here to here, maybe. Let me do this real quick. It could work, right? Maybe I'll trace it from the bottom. It might be better from the bottom to the top. All right, so from here, and then I can use this. Yeah, this looks much better, man. Yeah, I like this one better. Right, so we could even go all the way back here, and then we'll adjust a little bit, but we could do something like this. We had some support, broke down. We're kind of bouncing off that bottom part of the channel. I think I like this one much better, man, because we get more respect for it. The bottom part of the channel, some respect for the mid part after that impulse down. We have not been able to basically make any price action to the upside, right? It's sitting very low at 0.005 cents, right? Let's see what else is going on. Line's still diverging, so we're still making positive momentum, even though it's less positive momentum. Let's go on the 4 hours. We had this dive that everyone is seeing because Bitcoin went down. That is normal. Don't panic. We just cancel out our momentum. We're making a higher high with more positive momentum. That is also fine. Here, I mean, this wick certainly skewed things. Here, it was some sort of bearish divergence developing. It didn't play out. We still saw price action to the upside. And we did not have it. Well, yeah, we kind of had some bearish divergence, right, on the MACD from here to here. And then from here to here, which would have been price action to the downside. We did not get it. We saw this small dip. Then we went up again. And then what I was talking about is maybe from here to here, we're going up. But here we're making more or less the same positive momentum, right, or slightly less. Again, bearish divergence, price action to the downside. We did have a red candle. We kind of went back up a little bit. Here we're not developing that divergence, and we're tanking because Bitcoin is tanking, right? Again, sitting below at 20 MA right now, and a middle ground on the RSI at 45. That's neutral. Let's go into the 1 hour. 1 hour, man. We run the whole channel with. We were here like at 7 p.m. When the day opened, right? Nice impulse up again. That's fine. And then we touched that upper part of Bollinger Bands, man. Rejected and dumped all the way down, making a large bar of negative momentum, basically undoing the past. How many days did we undo? Since the 16th of September. So not that a while back, right? It's Monday. We basically just ate back to Monday. But anyways, we're seeing low on the RSI at 32. Not oversold, but sold certainly. And yeah, that will be it. You know, we were making nice stuff, right? Higher highs with higher lows with about the same levels of momentum, right? This will be higher and this will be higher. I'll just make it a straight line for eases this part, right? And then from here to here will be like hidden bullish divergence, right? Developing. So that's what we had. Here to here, it's higher, more momentum. Here to here, you had bearish divergence, right? So from here to here, we're going to a higher high, making less positive momentum. Price action to the downside. You did get it on the next candle. Nice drop. Some consolidation, impulse up, slight consolidation here, very little impulse up again. This is what happened with Bitcoin, right? Look at this part, and it happened with, I can't remember, Litecoin or somewhere else. We saw this, right? Impulse down, two small candles, impulse down again. I think it was Ripple, and you know, that's normal market stuff, so nothing to worry there. All right, it was here, right? Down, two little dojis, and down again. This doji of indecision, right? You know, open, probably bulls pull it up, bears push it down, and then bulls regain a little bit here. Definitely another kind of like shooting star doji. Does usually happen at the top of the pattern, but you know, inverse hammer or whatever you want to call it. Definitely seeing price action to a downside still making negative momentum. That is fine. Nothing we can do there. So yeah. If we go from the previous island of negative momentum, it will be this one, and we would be going with the market, so nothing to do there. If we go from here, a much lower frame from here to here, and then from here to here, we would be making like bearish divergence, right? Hidden bearish divergence, bullish divergence, sorry. Hidden bullish divergence, but you know, again, I'm not too worried about this. 3% drop right now. Day is still young. We're sitting above 9,800 now, you know. Like I said, if you would have bought down here for like 9,595, and you could have at least made $300 scalping it right now, right? But yeah, let's go back to XLM. Like I said, nothing to worry about. We bounced off the 20 MA. We weren't strong enough. This candle is bringing us down. We are touching a support at 0.07. We traced it. I can't remember when I traced it, but if we drop this support, we could certainly find support around this area, right? There's a lot of chop happening. So if I go here, I just want to fill this chart with a lot of supports, but do we have support around here? Yeah, maybe around here we have something. And probably down here also we have something, right? So there's areas that we could like, oh snap, I don't want to do it. Areas that we can come and revisit. Right, we are right now bouncing off this one. That is fine. If I do a fib retrace from the low to the high. Right, we have gone over that 382, which would be the 07 cents, and we're still between that and the 50%. You know, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyways, yeah, I think that's if no, there's no other questions. I think that's gonna be it for the night, right? Yeah, not much we can do, right? Just wait for the market to develop a pattern now, and then trace something. So no point in staying here for the next couple hours because this has to develop somewhere, right? We have to make some sort of movement in the next couple hours for us to try to determine what's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, hopefully we can get an impulse up, right? But you know, like I said, not worried about this, man. When it started dumping, I said we could use this as support. We did use it for a candle. Then we kind of dropped again, you know, within that channel. We run the whole channel. You know, long movements, large movements have retraces, especially if they're in a short period of time, right? Those bursts always get eaten back by the market. A lot of people start buying these discounts, push the price up again, then sell here, make a quick money on the scalps. That's a strategy that if you want to invest quickly, you should learn. I don't usually scalp. I don't like it very much because you can get wrecked if you don't do it right. You know, there was no guarantee of these not keep dumping and touching this bottom part of the channel. If you buy here, you can get stuck in a bad position. Again, be careful, right? Again, if you haven't joined us on the Discord, you should do it. We do post a lot of stuff there. I'll show it again, right? We post news, we post trade advice. We did three rising values. We were questioning it. What do you think? I posted from a book that I have from Thomas Bulkowski, on chart patterns and the three rising values. So there's some learning information that you can take from there as well. I don't usually post from the books. But I do post from the charts that I'm tracing, right? As I'm tracing and basically stating what is happening with the market, right? And there's a lot of stuff we do there on the day whenever I have a chance. And you can basically contact me through there, right? That's the easiest way to contact me through the day. If I'm in the office, I do have a chance to look at the message and I can look at it again, right? Yeah, selling the news of the Fed not... of the Fed dropping the rates. I mean, I don't believe that's what was propping it up, dude. You have, if it's gonna keep on selling, then when back comes out on, what is it, the 23rd, then it's gonna dump insanely again, and then it's gonna be hell, man. A lot of people are gonna probably get screwed on those long contracts, those future contracts. Anyways, I forgot to put the music back online, man. That's not good. Usually, I stop it during the announcements from Spotify, and then I forget to put it back on. Anyways, yeah, it might dump, you know, but we have to develop something, right? We have to have a period of one or two candles at least, or one candle of some sort of consolidation, right? And then we might get another dump. You know, Ripple did it. We've seen it. That's usually how it would play. Have a leg down, you consolidate a little bit, then maybe another leg down. On the daily, I think we can see it on other time frames, right? Right, it would be something like this, right? Man, you can have a lot of days on the red, and that's normal, right? That's the crypto market. Here also, a couple days on the red, right? But those moves, man, these moves have nothing to do on that move we just had, man. This move went from like 13,600 all the way down to like $10,000, man. That is like insane, man. That's $3,000 dropped in a day, man. So like, again, I'm not worried about this small dump. The problem is that we just had not seen large movements lately. We were just a month and a half of just seeing like small wimpy movements, right? So yeah, don't be scared, man. Until we break the triangle, don't be scared. If we break the triangle, we already talked, man. We have supports, we have areas of support, but if we break it, I mean, measure move would have put us at like 4,000 some odd, right? We did it. We went from the high to that low, right around here, that low. We take it and we place it here. If we break to the downside, 4,797. If we go to the upside, we talked about those numbers again, $15,500, right? You want to do that? Let me move this. There we go. So $15,000 or so, right? You actually go to right now 15,100, right? So don't worry about the price of Bitcoin taking a small slip up, right? Worry whenever we get more pattern confirmation, right? We had many red days, man. I mean, you know, we're bound to get a green one, hopefully. I mean, that's usually not how you would do market analysis, and I would not recommend that you do it that way. It's like, oh man, we had like 10 red days. We're gonna have a green day. No, hell, it doesn't work that way. But look, man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red, and then we get a green, and then we get a couple reds in the green. You know, it's really awkward to see that many red days in a row. It's not very common. Like I said, this will be the day 8. But let's wait and see what happens, man. We are retracing. We're almost above that 50% line of the channel, 9,814. We could certainly, I mean, the day is young, dude. It just started at 7. We were sitting at 11, so almost 4 hours ago, right? So we could certainly eat this candle back up throughout the day. So, I mean, yeah, we could dump more, but don't worry too much. Wait for something to develop, consolidate a little bit, then we might dump again on the more micro scales, right? The 4 hours on the 1 hour. And then we could definitely see what we're gonna do, right? Anyways, guys, 7 people watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you like what we do, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, hit those thumbs up. You know, we like the likes. YouTube likes us when you like the channel, and when you subscribe and when you comment, right? Anyways, guys, that's gonna be all for today. Thank you for watching. Again, if you like what we do, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. I'll see you all tomorrow. We are here daily, but it's time for me to go to sleep. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.